If I had the choice, I would choose to live back when Calypso brought the news. If I had the choice, I would choose to live right back when Calypso brought the news. No more reporters, no anchormen, no recorder, no pad and pen, no nosy cameras to point and shoot, no red ink to cross out the truth.
Many visitors come to Trinidad for one thing and one thing only: Carnival, which locals say is the biggest party on earth. A pre-Lenten festival of costumes, food, copious drinking, and the kind of dancing you better be good at before trying in public. It's almost 2 months before the party officially starts, but here in Trinidad's capital, Port of Spain, the carnival season has already begun.
I thought it was a pity that you went here during the peak of the carnival season.
I'll tell you something really terrible about myself. Like, I've never been to Mardi Gras, Carnival in Rio, any kind of carnival. Like, large numbers of strangers swarming through the streets, dancing in uniforms.
Doesn't do it for you?
No, some of my deepest fears are having to dance or sing in public. Either of these would be terrifying. So this seems like a situation where that might come up, you know?
Queen's Park Savannah will be the epicenter of Carnival. But tonight, it's still Trinidad's street food center. My dinner companion for some fried snapper is LaShawn Prescott, who's here to tell me about 2 essential skills necessary for the proper enjoyment of local nightlife. Turns out I am very good at one and suck epically at the other.
What is liming?
Liming is like our version of hanging out,
right.
You know. You're with friends, you're chilling, that's liming.
Is there alcohol involved? Chances are, if you're liming,
probably.
you're sipping.
I mean, you can't lime without beer.
What about the rum? I haven't had any rum here. How does one drink rum here, and which rum should I be drinking? Does one drink it on the rocks?
One
or
drinks
mixed?
it with Coke.
With Coke?
Yeah, rum and Coke.
But the rum's supposed to be really, really good here.
Yeah.
What do I want to mess it up with Coke for? Okay, so we've established what liming is. What is whining?
The technical term is the circumduction of the hips. And it's a style of dance. And if you're not used to the culture, you don't understand what it means, you can interpret it the wrong way. When you see it for the first time, you can think it's seductive, you can think it's sexual. But people can whine on each other and not really mean anything. I can whine on you and it doesn't mean that I want to take you home, you know? It's something that's really about freedom of expression of self. And it's something that crosses ages, races, ethnicities, especially during carnival time. You see people from high status and people who are, you know, lower class. They both whine together. You know, the barriers are no longer there. It's all just a mix of all the different ethnicities and stuff.
The faces you see in the streets are African, Indian, Chinese, Middle Eastern in features, and every shade of mix in between. This patchwork of ethnic identities and colors is a direct legacy of Trinidad's colonial past. Located at the southern end of the Caribbean Sea, 7 miles offshore from Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago have long been important ports of call. Like a lot of islands in the area, everybody's been through here at one point or another. The usual European hunters of fortune. The Spanish came looking for gold. Then the Dutch, French, and British took their turns at the real money of the time, sugar. An economy built on plantation labor and slavery. Finally, the island hit the big money: oil. A pair of seemingly unrelated events had a big impact on the island's musical culture. During World War II, the U.S. Navy built an oil depot to supply overseas strategic needs. And decades earlier, the ruling British had banned drums made from traditional style animal skins after a series of riots they insisted had been inspired by African drumming. One improvises in such circumstances, and all those oil drums were repurposed. This is Phase 2, one of only 11 large steel bands taking part in the worldwide competition Panorama that happens in a few weeks. Winner gets 150 grand. They've taken home the prize 7 times, in no small part due to this man, Lennox Boogsie Sharpe. The rehearsal space is called a panyard, and if you're lucky, somebody nearby is making this: corn soup, split pea broth, dumplings, and of course, corn. Kim Johnson is a local journalist and historian who knows about this stuff. It's far more complex than you think.
Wow. I gotta tell you, that was incredible. I've heard a lot of, little steel drum bands around the Caribbean, but nothing like that. All percussion, right? 100%.
Yes.
How did your interest in this develop?
I grew up here. Later, I became a writer. I discovered there were just hundreds of stories. Because in the early days, up until the 60s, the steel bands were partly like street gangs. They would fight with one another. The West Side Story,
Right.
kind of thing. The steel bands doubled as that. So I just got fascinated by tracking down all of these pioneers and getting their stories and how they got involved.
I'll be 64 years this year. I played music since a little kid.
Yeah, these stories that he grew up with them in one of his backyards. So when he was about 3 years old, he was going out playing with them.
Boogsie composes his pieces by layering different types of drums on top of each other. The engine room, made of unpitched percussion, lays down the groove. Next, a section of 6 bass pans drops a bass line. The guitar and cello pans add harmonies that sound like strumming. And the frontline pans play the melody. The result, a symphonic wall of sound.
I would like someday to marry this with a big orchestra, symphony orchestra. Yeah, Anthony, that's my dream.
It's because of the music Africans survived slavery. And not just physically, survived psychically. It's a question of just improvising instruments.
You know about the Vietnam War. What you might not know is that while that conflict raged on, Oman, along with an elite force of British special operators and military advisors, was engaged in a war in the country's southern Dhofar region that was in every way far more vital to American security interests and of far more importance to global strategic and economic concerns.
Where we operated were the frankincense trees. The frankincense that the wise men brought to Christ almost certainly came from the mountains where we were fighting. And you know, sitting behind a machine gun on a track which had been used for 3,000 years, one felt like an intruder in history. And if the trees were cut, you could smell the frankincense. The smell of explosives, the smell of blood, the smell of the food, cardamom, the smell of the tea. I loved it. This was a civil war. Civil wars typically are the worst wars of all. I mean, you know that well enough in your country.
But most people have not heard of it.
No, they haven't. But you'd have heard about it if we'd lost it, I can tell you.
Right.
The war began as a local rebellion by the Dhofari people against the autocratic and outdated rule of then Sultan Saeed bin Temur, who had kept his nation isolated and stunted out of concern for his hold on power. What started as a local uprising quickly became a serious, full-blown communist-backed insurgency as Soviet and Chinese influence poured in through Yemen. Ian Gardner remembers the conflict well. He fought in it alongside Omani infantry as a British Royal Marine, and later wrote about the experience in his memoir, In the Service of the Sultan, a rare chronicle of the brutal, incredibly difficult, and almost entirely unknown war fought in the rugged southern mountains.
The old Sultan was not an inhumane man, but he was an old man, and he was deeply reactionary, so he wanted to keep his country in a medieval time war. The thing that changed it was the advent of the Japanese transistor radio. For the first time, his people could hear what other Arab countries were doing with their oil, and they wanted some of that.
By the 1920s, Winston Churchill had switched the British Royal Navy's mode of power from coal to oil, and suddenly everything changed. They needed oil and lots of it, which made Oman vital, not for its limited oil resources, but for where it is. The Strait of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf's femoral artery. 20% of the world's oil flows through here, making it one of, if not the, most strategically important waterways on the planet. By 1970, Sultan Temur's counterinsurgency was not going well. He was deposed by his son Qaboos bin Said al-Said in a relatively bloodless coup. Immediately, the young Sultan set out on a different tack for winning the war.
Almost before the shooting had stopped, we would institute a civil aid program, build roads, build a school, build a mosque, build some shops, a clinic. But it was in this way the Sultan was able to demonstrate that he was the one who had his people's best interests at heart, not the communists.
Things seldom work out so well post-insurgency or counterinsurgency. This tactic failed spectacularly in Vietnam, of course. What made the difference here?
In every war in history, you end up living with the other side. And if you can open a respectable door successfully, then the less likely the aftermath is going to be beset with rancor, with hatred, and a thirst for revenge. The Sultan took this very brave, highly intelligent political risk, which I think was the difference, and I think has been the foundation of the unambiguous and enduring peace in this country.
In 1976, the Omanis laid down their weapons and never picked them up again. The resulting peace has lasted for 40 years. And while Oman ain't your system, and it ain't my system, and it's far, far from being either perfect or a Western-style democracy, there is a palpable pride here in the collective identity of being Omani. Notably as well, the Sultan has placed emphasis on the role of women, decreeing, at least as a matter of policy, equal access to education, to work, to political office.
الوحيدة في الحمرة كنت أطبخ. يعني كانوا الناس الحريم يعني يستحين وين يطبخن، يعني كما تقول يعني دنيء وناجحة وما شاء الله يعني، والناس كلها تشتري من عندي وتطلب. قامة واجد يعني الحريم يطبخن. يمكن تو 12 وحدة موجودات في الحمرة هنا يطبخن.
Zahara Al-Afi, daughters Asila and Aisha, and friend Samia Al-Harthi, 4 extraordinary women. What started as a way for Zahara to fund her charity work spawned a lucrative cottage industry of catering for events. Now, rather than using her family money, her business is able to fully finance her work to educate children in the nearby mountain villages.
Simpson?
Maybe.
I was asking myself that
I was on The Simpsons, yes.
Really?
Yes. This is the first time I've been recognized from The Simpsons.
That's really nice.
So some of the money that she's making is going to open schools in rural villages, is that correct?
Not only a part of the money, it goes all of it for them, to build for them the schools and to provide them the education.
وأخصص لهم ناس يعلموهم القرآن، وناس يعلموهم الدين، وناس يعلموهم أمور يعني ذاك يعني العلم بصفة عامة.
Why is this important to you?
يشوفوني ويتعلموا مني العمل التطوعي والتضحية من أجل الآخرين.
Kabuli laham is slow-cooked goat and a rich rice pilaf scented with star anise. Musanef dajaj, a local specialty, are pan-seared dumplings stuffed with chicken, pepper, ginger, turmeric, and onions. And of course, there's Omani bread with honey.
That's a chili. Are you okay with that?
Yes. I like spicy.
Oh, okay.
Good. Very good.
طيوه أصيلة قد في لما أتقطر مخرطة.
Everyone here says that the economy is going to have to shift away from oil towards other industries.
Yeah.
How would you like to prepare your daughters for the future?
نحن يعني في هذا العصر، في هذه الأيام نعيش أيام ذهبية بوجود السلطان قابوس، الله يشفيه.
بيشفيه يا رب، دايما عمرا طويلا ومديدا يا رب.
الحمد لله.
الحمد لله الحمد لله.
نعيش أيام ذهبية.
صح. اوكي.
لكن لازم نكون مستعدين للمستقبل يعني.
What do the young ladies, when they reach adulthood, what are your hopes and dreams?
إني أخلي نفسي راضية عن نفسي، أكون راضية عن نفسي، أحقق كل أحلامي. أكون يعني أنا أبغى أكون صاحبة أعمال.
And the young lady?
سمولة وين وأنتي؟
أنا كنت يعني أريد أكون أستاذة، بس أمي تريدني أكون رئيسة الجامعة.
ما شاء الله تبارك الرحمن. وين؟
Strong women in this family.
Yeah, I say that. They're very strong ones.
توصياتك garrantzi handia daka kulturan, azkenean kulturaren parte da. Restaurante baten antzekoa. Hemen jendea lagunak biltzen gera, nahi degunean, adiskide artean. Eta kanpoko jendeari bai atentzioa deitzen dio, soziedade ezberdinak daude. Eta nik oraintekan gogoratzen den nire aitona nola 80 urte baino gehiagokin etortzen zan onera. Eta lagunekin ardo botila bat ireki eta txorixo pixkatekin, bereekin hitz batzuk egin eta disfrutatu momentu horretaz. Guztiak lagunak era, hemen, gaude ekonomi aldetikan eta politika aldetikan, maila desberdinetako jendea eta guztiak hemen berdinak gara. Bai txiroena eta bai azkenean aberatsena berdinak gara, pertsonak gara eta hortan hori da hemengo funtsa.
There is no better city for food than this one. You know, look, it's going to be a problem because you're going to have like millions and millions of tourists coming here to eat, you know, every year more.
I think now we are being discovered, not only by foreigners, by Spanish people.
Yeah. This is what I heard.
The only people from Spain that came here all the time were people from Barcelona.
Catalonia, of course.
Catalonia, absolutely. And some people from Madrid, some people.
So-called bro food, in fact, predates the advent of the Kobe slider or donkey sauce, and probably even the high five. Chocos are private and historically all-male gastronomical societies, though that gender rule has changed with the times. It is still strictly Basque and strictly members only.
So, was everybody born here? Are you from San Sebastian?
San Sebastian.
Well, everybody.
We are very lucky that we are just here, surrounded by the sea, the mountains, the green mountains. So, in just 1 hour distance, you have any kind of fresh product.
We consider food as a part of our culture. I mean, the importance it has in our daily life. I mean,
yeah, this is the best example right here.
Yeah. There's one thing that my dad always says: we may not have money to go on holidays or to buy a new car or even to buy new shoes. But food is so important.
So important.
Who cooks rotates between members. Tonight, it's Pablo. The menu, diced raw tuna, grilled prawns with green sauce.
You notice that we don't like herbs or spices at all.
Nothing. We don't.
So the most we use parsley, and then
garlic.
Of course, garlic, onion all the way.
Yeah.
Because people have the idea if you add many spices and herbs to something that you're cooking here, you might be suspicious about maybe it's not so fresh.
Not fresh.
Yeah.
You want to take this food and put in another country, maybe Moscow, maybe New York. It's impossible to cook in this way, and people don't understand.
Someone I was talking to yesterday had a theory. She said the men talk about the difference between things. The difference between this bicycle and that bicycle. The difference between this bicyclist and that bicyclist. And that this is an innate part of the Basque culture.
I don't think it's exclusively from here. I think this is something that comes well from Franco years.
Where's Franco buried, by the way?
Oh, in Madrid, Valle de los Caídos.
En el Valle de los Caídos.
Big gravestone, or they just sort of roll him into a ditch?
It's a huge place.
If you were, I'm not suggesting you do this, but if you were to visit Franco's grave, unzip and take a piss on it, would you be arrested?
Yeah.
No, you would be in the news all around the world.
Would that make you popular or unpopular?
Popular.
Popular, yeah.
For the main, fried hake cooked with chicoli and steamed clams.
So What's the best thing about this city for you? I mean, you've lived here your whole lives.
Having so many things so near. I mean, I have France near, I have all the coast near, I have the mountains near, I have very, very good gastronomy.
It's the way of life.
And it's a way of life.
It's the way of life. You are able to keep the very same group of
You can
friends
sit here.
till you are old.
You can sit
Because, yes, that table.
And they're in 40s, and I'm sure they know each other from they are 10 or 5 years old. And they keep on coming here every week and have dinner here every week.